So hello and welcome to my channel again. Today we're making my meatloaf. Of course, it's a budget-friendly meatloaf. I'll make sure I leave the receipt at the end of the video so you can see it for yourself. And it's quick and simple, but it's a little twist. A couple of things that I changed in it. One, to make it a little more budget-friendly, and also for flavor. So the ingredients will be tomato soup, ketchup, brown sugar, yellow mustard, onions, green peppers, ground beef. Now, you can use breadcrumbs, Panko breadcrumbs, whichever you like. Me, this is where my twist is at. Breadcrumbs can be expensive unless you actually toast and make your own breadcrumbs, make your breadcrumbs yourself. But also, I'm not a fan of breadcrumbs. Why? Because it leaves it like a little space in the meatloaf there, just a soggy little spot. So every slice you get, you have these little soggy spots. I never liked that. So me personally, I like to use white rice. So in place of the breadcrumbs, I'll be using white rice. And since I'm not using breadcrumbs, I won't need to use buttermilk, which also could add to the cost. So I'm also using eggs, mustard, I already mentioned mustard, Worcestershire sauce, my barbecue seasoning that I make myself, and I will leave the ingredients in the comments. I mean, not in the comments, in the description. And black pepper. So let's get started. First, you want to move this out the way. You want to slice and dice. You want to slice up your peppers. Now, like I always say, always sharpen your knife before you use it. A dull knife is a dangerous knife. So you don't want to cut yourself. You know, a dull knife will, a sharp knife will cut right through something. A dull knife will actually, it may slide off and cause you harm. So you don't want to do that to yourself. So always sharpen your knife beforehand. I like green pepper, so don't mind me if I munch a little bit. Now, some recipes call for you to saute these vegetables, your onions and peppers. Me, I don't. Why? Because first it's going to cook. First, we're making a very large meatloaf, so it's going to cook inside the meatloaf. Meatloaf is going to cook a little longer than usual. It's about 2 hours, 2.5 hours cooking time. So it's going to cook inside of it. And plus, I don't really like, again, I'm not a fan of sogginess. So I don't like soggy vegetables. That's why I don't like the breadcrumbs. Now we have to cut this piece out because of the browning. I'm not a big fan of that either. Now my local meat store, we get ground meat for $10, 4 pounds for $10. So that is very cost effective because most places is a lot more than that. You can barely get 3 pounds of meat for $10. Most supermarkets that I've been to usually charge $3 something per pound. So this is cost effective. Hopefully you have the same deal going around in your neighborhood, your local meat store. Now, this might be a challenge because I didn't get a bowl big enough for all this, but let's hope. Now we're going to be using two peppers. Now I may only use 1 onion because these are large. You don't really need you don't really need this large of an onion, 2 of these. So I may only need 1 depending on how much comes from this after I dice it. Great. See, this is what happens in the kitchen. Regular mistakes, knocking things over. So I'm going to give a little notch over here. Ooh. There we go. Yeah, I think 1 is going to be enough because it's just half right here. We still have rice as a filler, and this should be enough. I've already explained before that I'm a messy cook, so if you go in the comments be like, oh my God, you're so messy, yes, I already know. My wife makes sure I know this every time she comes home and she sees what the kitchen looks like. Now I do need to find some real good techniques of keeping my eyes from watering, because this right here, oh, let's take this off because this layer right here is making it slide off. That's one thing you don't want the knife to do, slide. And there we go. Now that we have that done, we're going to make the sauce. Now, right here is 2/3, I'm sorry. This is the ketchup, which is 2 cups. 2 cups of ketchup. We're going to add, what's this? 2/3 cups of brown sugar. Here goes the tomato soup. We're going to use 2/3 a cup of this. Oh, and the mustard, which how many did I say? 3 tablespoons, 5 tablespoons. Well, 5 tablespoons of mustard. One, 2, 3, 4. Now I don't have a preference on mustard. I'm only using this mustard because this is what I have available. And I suggest y'all do the same thing. If I don't specify something, don't break your neck to sit there and get a specific brand or anything like that. Get whatever is available. Get the least expensive thing you can find, because we're here to save money, aren't we? Nope. Let me get a spoon to whip this all up. Actually, a whisk would do fine. Where are my whisks? Whisk. Ooh. Now, switch this together. Now let's get to it smooth. You don't want any lumps, which shouldn't have any lumps, but you know, you don't want the lumps from the brown sugar. You don't want the brown sugar to drop to the bottom and, you know, comes up down there. Okay, set this to the side. Now, we already preheated the oven to 350 degrees. 1/2 cups of soup for here, which is 1. And a half. There we go. Now, I'd rather use large eggs, but since these were on sale for $1, these are medium-sized eggs. So I'm gonna use about 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it was large eggs, I'll probably only use about 2 or 3. No, you know what? Because if it was large eggs, I will use a lot more than this. And I have to move this over because I forgot there's a hole in this pot, this bowl. And my eggs are pouring over onto my phone. That's funny, isn't it? If it was large eggs, I'll use 4 large eggs. Since medium eggs, we'll use 6. We'll keep it at that. Now, what else should I be adding to this? Worcestershire sauce. Let me get this paper towel to wipe my hands down. Whoops. And how much Worcestershire sauce did I say? 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. So with Worcestershire sauce, for some reason, they give this little squirt spout. I hate it. So no big deal rinsing out this. About to, whoops, 1, 2. Yes, I know it overflowed. I know I put way too much in there, but it's not. It actually will help the flavor. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Okay, now we put in the pepper, which is about, oh man, I just had eggs in my hands and I'm gonna have to wash this now. So we're gonna add the pepper here. About half a teaspoon. Probably was a lot more than that, but oh well. We use my barbecue seasoning, which again, I will leave how to make it in the description. What else? Season, pepper, no. And now we add the rice. Now, here's where it gets messy at. And don't worry about getting messy. Like I said, I'm a messy cook. If you're following me, you're going to be a messy too. Well, I mean, it's not guaranteed that you'll be messy, but, you know, there's no problem with being there. So we're going to Mix it all together. As you can see, I like mixing with my hands. But when you're making the loaf, make sure it's in the form of a loaf, nice and firm and even around so it can cook evenly. Okay, so now we're back. We're gonna sit there and pour half of this glaze over this. The last 15 minutes, we're gonna pour the rest. Here we go. Now, time to put it in the oven. We're gonna cook that for about 2.5 hours, and we will be back to put the rest of the glaze in and let it sit for 15 after that. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half or hour 45 minutes after, and I checked the temperature. So pulling this out, turn this on. Let's stick this in here, and you can see is at 210. So it won't take 2 hours and 45 minutes. It'll take more like 2 hours, or 1 hour and 45 minutes. So hour 45 minutes in, we're gonna pour the rest of the sauce over here. There we go. Actually, I wish I made some more. And we're gonna put this back in here for another 15 minutes and check it out. So it's been 15 minutes. We're gonna bring it out. Now, let's turn the oven off before I forget about it. Ooh, that smells amazing. And this is what we're left with. Now, we have to let it sit for about 15 minutes. I know there's a lot of grease at the bottom. It's because of the pan I used. And plus, I also used 80-20 beef, ground beef. I'm about to be real greedy right now. Let's see. Tastes amazing. Even though I should have let it set because it's not gonna fully form, and I may just let some of the juices out, but I'm gonna let it set for about 15-20 minutes and then serve. Now again, I want to thank everybody for watching the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, to like my videos, and turn on the notifications, you know, so you'll be up to date with all my recipes. I'll make sure I put the recipes in the about section, or the in the description section. Also for my barbecue seasoning, I'll add that there in. I'll also add that in there. And again, if you see me using anything and you wonder where I got it from, I can always leave you the link from, you know, how you can get it yourself. Thank you. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.